This video will explain the process of stacking in Images Plus. Here is an image of Horsehead Nebula from the Sky Photo Trip 9th edition. This was shot with the Hyperstar on 14-inch. And you can see that 199 images of this object have been shot. Each exposure is 30 seconds at 2000 ISO. So along with that, in the repository we have the flat files for the optical system as well as darks shot at the same time and with the same exposure, which is 30 seconds. So I'm going to start Images Plus and explain the process of stacking. So in Images Plus, click on Image Set Operations and Automatic DSLR Image Set Processing. This dialog box will open, which has lots of tabs. So we'll go to the tab of light frame and then click on select light frames and go to the folder which contains our light frames. So in the repository, we have over here flame and horsehead, the same exposures shot with the Hyperstar. There are 199 of them, but for the purposes of this video I will take only 7 or 8 images. So I will select about 7-8 images, and the list of these light frames will appear in the Images Plus dialog box. Then we go to dark frames and select dark frames. So it straight away goes to the darks folder because I have already worked in the dark folder before, and I'm going to select all the darks. Then I go to flat frames and select flat frames. So here are this is the folder for flat frame. I'm going to select all the flat frames. Now we go to the process tab in this dialog box, and image set process type will be DSLR since we shot the images with a digital SLR camera, and the camera used was 60D. So over here we have in this list we have 60D also. We are going to select Bayer at capture white balance. I am also going to select the extra functions like normalize, which means to bring each frame to the same brightness, grade, which means that each frame will be checked whether the stars are round or oval, and oval star frames will be dropped. Click on align so that all the frames can be aligned to each other precisely, and finally combine. You can also click the minimize hard drive use, so when each of the operation is complete and the next operation is also complete, so the previous set of files will be deleted. And then you press the process tab. Now you can see the status over here. First of all, it is converting the dark frames. So there are 25 dark frames, and this will take some time to convert. What it means is that we have our frames in Canon or RAW files. The software Images Plus is converting them to fits. I am going to pause the video over here and resume when the next operation begins. Now 23 of 25 dark frames have been converted. Now the next operation is raw convert flat frames. So there are 22 flat frames and they are being converted from Canon raw to FITS file. If you go in the folder for darks, you will see that these fit files have been created, which are 25 in number. The original frames are in the format of Canon raw CR2. I'm going to pause the video till the next operation. Now 20 out of 22 flat frames have been converted. And now the next operation is raw convert light frames. Since I had taken only 8 frames for this purposes of this video, this will be done quickly. If you go in the flats folder, you will see that it has new files which are in the form of fits, and these are the original files from Canon raw, and these have been created by Images Plus. So at the moment the operation which is going on is the Images Plus is converting the light frames. There are only 8 light frames selected. And the next operation is combine all the dark frames in an average fashion to make a master dark. The master dark frame has been created and it can be seen in the folder for darks. So here is the master dark frame, which is one file, and you will see that all the intermediate converted files from the darks have been deleted. So now uh, the flat frames are being normalized. That means all of them are being made equal in brightness. If you go in the folder for flats, you will see some action going on. So you have all these converted flat frames, and all of these flat frames are being normalized. So a prefix is being added, NL for normalize, and finally they will be converted into a master flat, and all the intermediate files like these converted ones and the normalized ones will be deleted. And now the flat frames which have been normalized are now being combined to form one master flat frame, and the method of combination is median mode. Now the next operation is calibrate light frames. That means from each light frame the dark is being subtracted and the flat frame will divide the light frame. So if you go in the folder for flats, you will see that all the intermediate files which were created have been deleted, and now you have a one file called master flat. So you have your master dark and master flat, and these two files are being applied to calibrate each of the 8 light frames. If you go in the folder for Horsehead Nebula, you will see that the converted files are here, 8 of them, and now C underscore CVT means converted and calibrated. C is the prefix for calibrated files. So you have your raw files, then converted files, and then calibrated converted files. All the light frames have now been calibrated, and the next operation is bare light frame conversion. So if you go and check in the folder, there'll be new files, the bare interpolated files. That means the RGB information is being the bare interpolation, and every pixel will have a RGB value now. Previously, all the pixels were either green, blue, or red, but now each pixel will have the RGB value. This operation is called bare interpolation. The bare interpolation has now been completed, and the next operation is normalized light frames. That means each of the light frame will be brought to the same level of brightness. And if you go and see in the folder, there will be new files coming up shortly, which have the prefix of NL, which means that these files are normalized. So now if you watch carefully, this IMG is a prefix from the file from the camera, CVT is converted, C is calibrated, BINT is bare interpolated, NL is normalized. The next operation has begun, and Images Plus is now grading each of the 8 frames to check whether the stars are oval or round. And according to the eccentricity of stars, it will grade each frame. So you could throw away the oval frames and keep the frames which have round stars. After it has graded each of the frame, it will then proceed to save each of the images. The next operation has begun, which is the alignment of all the frames. To see the previous files which have been created, you go back in the folder and see that you have a new file with the prefix ASG auto star grading, and you can also see the eccentricity. So each frame has been given a number according to the eccentricity of the star shape. And finally, we have automatic star alignment, which is presently going on in Images Plus. So each of the image is getting precisely aligned. You can see over here that from 8 the number has reduced to 7. That means the process of grading has dropped one image uh, from the cycle, and now you will see that the number has gone down to 6. That means the process of alignment has dropped one more frame from the cycle. And finally now the last process of this automatic procedure is being done, which is the combine light frames using the method of excluded minimum, maximum and averaging. So this method means that from each pixel or each corresponding pixels of the 6 frames, minimum value and maximum value will be dropped and rest will be averaged. This operation is conducted in 3 stages: red, green and blue. And now finally all the operations are complete and one single image has been made, which you can display by pressing this display combination button. So this is now the stacked image. Now you will wonder why you can't see anything in this image. There is no flame nebula or Horsehead Nebula visible in this image. It's almost totally black. That is because the image is not stretched. So on my keyboard, I will press Ctrl D to bring up the DDP, digital development, basically to stretch the image. So I am going to show you just one operation over here. By stretching the image, you will be able to see the details which are present. Of course, this is too much. I'm going to roll back a little bit. And now you can see that Flame Nebula and Horsehead Nebula are visible. Of course, there's a lot of noise because we only stacked 8 images from the whole lot. In fact, there are 200 images and final image will certainly be noise free. So here is a process of stacking which you can follow very easily yourself. Thank you.